Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be talking about how to handle a video client from start to finish. And that's come through a comment on my latest video, which was from Yarly Yeep saying, as for myself, I don't usually feel comfortable approaching new clients, but it has to be done. Could you possibly dive deeper into how you handle clients from start to finish, pitching the ideas, securing future work with them, pricing revisions, etc. So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing today. So do make sure you leave a comment on my videos. I really appreciate it, and I also go through and answer them personally myself, and if there's anything that needs to be dived into deeper, I'm more than happy to do that. It's all about building a community and building a channel that serves you guys, my subscribers. So without further ado, let's get into this video. The first thing I want to pick out on this comment is the fact that they've said they don't feel comfortable basically speaking to new clients, but it has to be done. And I'm sure all of us as creatives really share that same feeling, that same anxiety of reaching out to new people, just feeling like you're going to be a nuisance or a bother. And that's the number one thing that you need to change, is this thing called stuff around sales. It's this mindset that you've got going into it, that you're a salesperson and everyone hates a salesperson. The way that I've approached business from starting out as a freelancer to having everything I do now as a studio, the full production company, the team of people, I always take the personal approach, the human to human selling, okay? And that's really, really important to remember. Look, someone can always say no if they're not interested in your products or services, that's fine, but we don't need to go down a hard sales route, okay, that makes you feel uncomfortable. Let's take the right angle and approach this as the best way that we can, and you can have a much better success rate. Especially within the current time and the current climate with everything that's going on in the world, it's really, really important that you try to build up a rapport with that person and show them that you actually care about their business. So my first tip is that when you're outreaching to these people, just come across as yourself. You're just trying to be the best version of yourself. You're not trying to be salesy. And the way you do that is set a meeting with them. Don't try and sell them straight away. Don't give them all the prices to your packages and all of those kind of things. Just ask them, hey, would you be interested in having a chat a bit further? And maybe link to some of your work and say the kind of things that you do, but don't worry about going down a hard sales route, okay? Try and build up some rapport. That's why networking events are really, really important. Referrals are really important. Speaking with people on LinkedIn and those things are also important. I've done a lot of videos about outreach as well, so I suggest to anyone to go and have a little flick through them, because it will really help with the sales process. But we all hate this term sales, so you just need to forget all of that stuff and just go into it with a fresh mind. And look, you've got something that can benefit someone else's business. In terms of video content, if they have a good video for their business, will they sell more products or more services? Yes, they will, okay? So you actually have a bit of a duty to try and actually at least try and make that connection with them and offer it to them. If they don't want it, that's fine. Don't take that as a rejection, because sometimes people think, well, I've been rejected by that person. It can often be a case that it's just an objection, the fact that they actually just don't have enough information. They might think you're really expensive, but you haven't actually talked about prices yet. Don't take a objection as a rejection. That's another little coaching term that we use a lot with our students, because again, I see this time and time again. People don't like sales, and that's not what I've built a business on. It's not about sales. It's about becoming people's friends, building good relationships, and then expanding on it from there. A really good saying to go by is everything that you have in life right now is inside your comfort zone. The things that you don't have but you want are outside your comfort zone, because otherwise you'd already have them. So in business, it's the same thing. You need to push yourself. You need to make yourself feel uncomfortable, push those comfort zones, and that's when you become more alive, and you'll have so much more opportunities to grow your businesses as well. So just think about that when you're going into these settings. Now, there's a few ways that you can outreach to clients, and again, I'm not going to go into these in a lot of detail because there's a lot of videos on my page about that, but number one is either a cold outreach, so the person doesn't know who you are and you're going to either phone them, outreach through Instagram, LinkedIn, email, anything like that, Or you know the client, but you're going to kind of pitch them an idea and go down that route. Or you may not know them, but you might want to pitch them an idea. The problem with pitching people an idea if you don't know who they are or you don't know they want that kind of video is it's going to take you a lot of time to put the pitch together, and potentially you don't even know if that person's in the space to purchase a video anyway. So I would stray away from pitching a video, creating a pitch deck or an idea to a client, I would always go down the cold outreach side and just try to build up a bit of rapport. Hey, I've been looking at your website. I think it looks great, but we can definitely help with some, better images, some better videos on there, just some things to think about. Would you be interested in having a meeting to discuss these things further? Completely, no strings attached, anything like that. Would you be interested in having a meeting? Yes or no? Then they can get back to you. If the answer is no, say, yeah, no problem at all. That's fine. Put them on your list for 6 months' time and then touch base with them again later on, Or if they're like, yes, you know what, we are in the space for that at the moment, then great, then have that conversation with them. And then already you've already done the icebreaker thing, and then you're just into a sales setting. Now, what's really, really important between firstly outreaching and also within your meeting, once you land that, is going to be your tone of voice, okay? So we're trying, again, not to be salesy. And one really, really key factor here, I learned this from a guy called Chris Doe. He's an amazing person. He teaches a lot of creative business, entrepreneurship and things like that. And he has a thing about not selling past the point of sale. Now, this is something that I did wrong for a lot of years, and it was really a big detriment to our business until I realized I was doing it. This is now something that I tell so many people about to keep an eye on. You can ask different questions within your meetings, such as, okay, so obviously interested in the video, great. How soon would you like it? Are we talking next week? Are we talking in a month's time, a year's time? And if they can start to bring those dates further forward, then they can already see themselves with your product, with your video. So if you were working with a client that thinks, well, we'll probably move on this next month or next week, then you know that they're serious about going with this today. Or if you've got a client that says, well, look, we don't really know, it's just an idea at the moment, then you know how much more you need to push with those people. So you need to ask little questions like that to find out how urgent they are, how serious they are about buying your product. And then you can ask, depending on that, closing questions that would be like, okay, so what do we need to do from here? And they might say something like, well, look, we need to go away, crunch some numbers and come back to you. That's their way of saying, okay, I have all the information I need to go away and do my thing before I proceed further forward. Now, what I used to do was sell past the point of that sale, where I would continue speaking to the client and saying, okay, they've already told me that they need to go and crunch some numbers, and I'd be saying things like, okay, well, we can also do this for you, and we can also do that, and how does this sound, or what if we did this, and what if £1,000, does that sound good to you? Well, look, Ross, we need to go away and crunch the numbers. Okay, well, look, if we need to bring that price down, we can do, or how about this, that, and the other, and I would continue selling because I would be so just wrapped up in my own world. And I think the number one thing about sales again is just to listen to what they want, listen to what they're saying. Don't just be waiting for your chance to talk, just listen to what they have to say and be yourself. That's the main thing. The people will buy into you because of who you are, not because you're trying to be someone you're not. And I think that's really, really powerful. So think about that in tone of voice. Now, with regards to pitching your ideas, that's something that generally happens in the first meeting with them. So once we've determined that they actually are interested in having a video and they're in the right kind of time frame for that in their business, then you sit down, have a chat with them, when you do it over video call or something like that. And that's where you find out from them. It's not so much about pitching your ideas, it's about finding out from them exactly what it is that they want. What are they looking for this video to do? Because if they're looking for this video to make sales through their website, and you're pitching ideas to do with a social media teaser on Instagram stories, they're not going to work, right? So what we need to do is we need to find out for them, hey, what kind of ideas do you have in mind? Have you got any inspiration? Is there anything your competitors are doing that you've noticed works well and you want to repurpose, redesign and re-engineer so that we can make the best video for your company? So find out from them actually what they want this video to do. That's going to be a really, really powerful tool. And then you can expand on your creative knowledge, which I'm sure you guys have nailed the creative stuff. It's just getting on top of the business things to make more sales. Then you just give them your knowledge and wisdom and things that have worked well in the past. You might show them some of your portfolio for inspiration. Then it's just a case of setting a date for the project itself. And then you're just straight into it. And when you leave that meeting, everyone's going to be super, super excited. And again, don't be panicky and thinking, okay, if they haven't committed to a date or a budget or anything like that, that doesn't matter. Sometimes people just need to go through their own process in their mind. Think about any time you've bought something. If you feel pressured into doing something, or you're unsure, or you just need to find out more information, you're not gonna make that decision there and then, regardless from what the person across the table is saying to you. So you need to keep those things in mind. How would you feel in their position? And just be helpful. Do as much as you can to help that person. But ultimately, once you've done that, you build up a nice rapport, they really like you, then you're setting a date for the shoot, then it's on to the actual filming itself. Now, this is really, really important. We make sure that every client that goes through our funnel or that we work with from start to finish, it follows the same process, so everyone gets the same high standards every time, whether they deal with me or any one of the members of the team here. I teach a lot about this in my course. There's a free training and a free module linked in the description below. Feel free to check it out if you want to. But there's lots and lots of information about that kind of process. Now, certainly one thing that I definitely do is just message the client the day before the shoot to make sure everything's fine. Any last minute questions, anything that you need before you actually go on set and conduct the shoot. Just let them know that you're caring about them, that you're really excited, and then you can actually attend the shoot yourself. Now, to secure further work with your clients, it's really a case of delivering on their expectations or exceeding their expectations, but you can start to plant the seed when you're on the set. Find out from them how their business has transformed over the last year. Where are they trying to get their business to? Is there more demand for more videos? Do they see this being part of a series? If everything goes well, would they consider doing some kind of plan where you go and film regularly for them? Those kind of things, okay? But it really depends on if you can hit all of the positive points that you've spoken about within the meeting, and if you exceed that client's expectations. And that just comes down to account handling. So after you finish the project, they're all happy, then again, follow on from those discussions that you had actually on the shoot and just ask them, you know, is there anything else in the pipeline, or are there any ideas that I can help support you with from my experience, or whatever that it may be. And repeat custom will always come as a result of you just staying in touch with them, keeping their best interests in heart, and sometimes coming up with ideas. Once you've worked with them and you know that they're in the market for video content and they like that kind of stuff, then you know that you're in a better position to maybe say, well, look, I've got this idea for this Instagram story. Do you think that that would be something that would work for your business? Then you can, you know, show their best interests at heart to make sure that they achieve their goals. And that's how you keep people coming back to you, is that client relationship. And I can tell you what, how you start reaching out to them initially and how your tone of voice is in your initial meeting, that sets the tone for everything moving forward. So that's why if we go really salesy at the start, it doesn't often always work out with them coming back at the end. Finally, pricing and revisions. So revisions is nice and easy. We would generally say for every video, they get either 1 or 2 sets of amendments. That is the equivalent to 1 detailed email. Now, if they forget some things within that email, then that's ultimately their problem. But very rarely do we have an issue where they come back for more than 2 amendments. It's normally maybe just 1, and that might be a couple of small changes. Because you've spoken with them and you've looked after them throughout the process, you have a full understanding of what it is that they want. We always ask our clients to just detail the time code. At what point of the video do you want it to be cut out, or do you want us to change for whatever reason? And sometimes we use tools such as Dropbox or Vimeo where they can actually leave review links on the video themselves as well. So that's really nice and easy, but generally always outline just 1 or 2 sets of amendments per video, and that's it. Anything else is chargeable. And finally, pricing. Now, this is just the age-old question of how much should I charge? And this is really difficult because it depends on your level of ability, your experience, your camera equipment, where you're going, but generally try to work out a day rate so you're not charging more for some clients and less for others, because it'll come back around and bite you in the ass. I promise you that. So try and get a day rate. If you're starting out as a complete beginner with like a basic camera, then maybe charge something like £100 a day. Once you've got someone that's paid £100 a day, you can start to scale it up. You can charge £150 for your next project, and then, you know, once someone's paid that, you can charge £250 and try that. And you can keep moving up your prices until people aren't buying, and then you can potentially bring them back down. That's how you can scale your pricing structure. Now, if you are more experienced, I mean, like we charge around about £700 per day in UK pounds. So that comes at a premium, but most shoots will have 2 people on, and then we'll have a number of editing days. So that's how the projects start to really bulk out. Now, that's at the kind of more towards the top end of video production. So you just need to think about, where do you sit in that, and ask people, ask other freelancers. We have a great community in the Perspective Academy where all the group talk with each other about how much they're charging, how they can operate this within their businesses, what things are working well, what things aren't. And that's just perfect for helping build your business. And I think a lot of people work on collaboration over competition. So don't feel scared, ask other people, hey, how much are you charging? Then you'll get an idea of where you sit in the overall picture. But remember, don't lower your prices on someone's inability to see your worth. I really hope you found this video useful. Please do subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to create a community of like-minded people who want better businesses, and I always read all of the comments as well. So if you've liked this video, leave a comment. Let me know what kind of things you'd like to see on the channel. And until next time, peace.